And welcome, race fans, to a beautiful Thursday night under the lights at a beautiful sports facility that is definitely has a lot of history involved going on. That being none other than Charlotte Motor Speedway. Again, a mecca and a racing staple when it comes to racing itself. A lot of the real-life race teams call this place their home track, as they are located not far from this racing facility. And the boys of the Fired Up Esports League are going to take to some racing action tonight to see if they can't tame this track. Now, with that being stated, I do know that you can see to my right here, I do have an empty panel. Somebody's time was just a tick off, and they're running just a little bit late, but don't worry. As the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley, will be joining us tonight in the booth, as he is running just a little bit late. So unfortunately enough, you get stuck with me for the pre-race show presented by Motor Sports. You can see Motor Sports back behind and everything else. Excellent company, excellent group, fantastic products, top-notch ownership all the way around. So again, check them out. And with that being said, the race tonight is the CGE Memorial 125 presented by Motor Sports. So yes, this is one of the races that will be giving a set of gloves, some of their high quality gloves, to the race winner. So this is the second race this season that this will take place. And again, these gloves, this company puts a lot of time, effort, and resources into their R&D for their gloves. A lot of drivers out there use them, and a lot of drivers swear by them as well. Great product all the way around. But again, not just the gloves. Go check out all the products they have. They do amazing work with everything. So check them out. That's martinsportsapparel.com. As you see, the drivers are taking qualifying time right now. They are, again, trying to put down some fast laps. We got a lot of fast drivers here. Should be a good race tonight, all the way around. Now, this track here has always posed some good racing, has the room to do it, has the speed to do it, has the banking to do it. So it should be good all the way around, and it's under the lights, and you know how it works. These trucks always look so sexy under the lights. I don't care where it's at or what track it's at. Even tracks that I personally don't care for, if it's under the lights, I don't know. There's just something about it. So a lot of these drivers were prepping for a day race, as that is what the iRacing official is running. But this had been scheduled for a night race for some time. So again, they're going to be trying to run that down. So it should be a good show overall. We do want to throw out and give thanks where thanks is due when it comes to this show as well. We do want to thank, again, Motor Sports. Without them, they are the title sponsor for tonight's events. Again, great products that they have, fantastic quality, and the ownership of this. It's American all the way around. The ownership is good all the way around. So again, check out their products, check out what they have to offer. You will not be disappointed. We also want to thank Sticker Cabana, again, the title sponsor for the Truck Series. Excellent group of individuals, high-quality die-cut stickers. Has proudly come on board as a sponsor and has been for quite some time, so it's always good to see Sticker Cabana, so check them out as well. We also want to thank Nature Med. Again, educate and medicate. Nerditudes is a firm believer of the use of medicinal marijuana, both for physical complications as well as mental complications. A lot of our men and women who serve this country proud have some mental incapacitations, whether it's anxiety, PTSD, and I tell you what, this is the way to do it. This company is veteran-owned, so we fully 110% support Nature Med and what they do, and do anything to try to alleviate any of the issues and stresses that any of the veterans or anybody out there has to suffer. So again, from our hearts to yours, for all the veterans out there that do suffer from that, again, we thank you for everything that you have done for your service to this country and to everybody that lives in this country to allow us to do what we are doing tonight. Again, thank you very much. And we also want to thank Butt Kicker. Again, excellent sound system. Go to thebuttkicker.com/?AFF equals 33, sorry, 33. That is the affiliate link for Fired Up. Be sure on the screen there you use the promo code Fired Up to get 20% off. Again, high quality products there. They will add a level of realism to any racing rig at a fraction of the cost. So again, we want to thank all of our sponsors that we do have, because without them, we would not be here. With that being said, we are going to be getting ready to hit the road. As you see, the drivers are pulling off. So I'm going to get my ugly mug off, and we're going to let these guys do what they do best. So stay tuned, because you're about to ready to see some excellent racing action as these drivers are hitting the track. So as all these drivers are pulling out, we are going to go over our starting grid. So starting on the pole in that number 9 is going to be Bradley Brandon. Outside is going to be Brooks Durden. Again, Brooks Durden had an excellent run last week and is looking to capitalize all the way around. Starting in that third position is Cody Porter. Outside is going to be Anthony Crownover, who, even though he had stated on the YouTube there that the night setup is screwed up, but he said, let's go. It doesn't look too screwed up to me, as he's sitting in that fourth position. Fifth is going to go to Tyler Bentley. Sixth place is going to go to Shane Posey. Tyler Davala is going to be in your seventh position. Eighth is going to be Connor Hazel. Ninth position is going to be Jeremy Coors. Rounding out your top 10 is going to be Timothy Swiggett. Starting 11th is going to be Tim Henderson. His dancing partner to the outside is the other Durden, Bryson Durden. Starting in 13th is going to be Tyler Toller. 14th is going to be Josh Benoit.
Green flag.
As we do get the green flag there, again, I apologize on that, as my cohort has not made it here yet, so we are running this show until he gets here. That's all right. We'll dock his pay. So green flag does fly. Racing is underway. The number 9 of Bradley Brandon does jump out to the lead. A lot of the trucks there, you see 2x2 as they are trying to get everything worked out here. Again, this is a night race, so these setups is a little loose, way loose by that 9. Way loose. 04 is way loose. We do have contact there, as we have wrecks going on in the back. We got trucks making contact all over the place. First caution is out for the night. That was hard impact by a couple of those trucks, and it all started with our leader getting loose going through. Just as I was making the comment about these trucks are going to be loose, as it is a night race, and lo and behold, what happens is that number 9 gets loose, and everybody has to check up behind and nowhere to go. That's a tough break for a lot of these drivers. Did look like a number of them were going to try to save these trucks, but again, they were starting to run out of real estate with everything that was going on. So we're going to go take a look back here again, see exactly what happened. So we seen the 9 was going through, coming off of turn 4 there, got way loose. 04 got collected. See, the 11 got collected. The 15 was collected on there. Shane Posey tagged the wall hard. The 2 got collected as well. Looks like it might be minimal on the 2, though, of Connor Hazel, as he was able to skirt right on down pit road to try to bypass a lot of that. So, again, you see the damage there on the 92 of Jeff Converse. So, again, very tough break for a lot of these drivers out here tonight already. As we are, again, only sitting on the starting intro laps here, ladies and gentlemen, and we've already had the first caution. So, again, we're only 3 laps in, and 1 to 2 of those was done under caution. So, again, shout out again. So, Anthony, I do want to say excellent on that. He states that he is a vet as well and does use medicinal cannabis as well, and we fully support that, and we thank you very much for your service, as well as anybody else that's out there. I do know that Ron Holmes, Mr. Holmesy himself, is a Marine. He is a veteran as well. So again, we thank all the veterans out there. If we happen to be missing some of them, we apologize. We do not know the veteran status of all the drivers. We do want to throw a shout out to Hagar as well, saying, "What's up, nerds? You're seeing it. We're back to racing action again, a little different from last night. We swap out the dirt for some pavement, but it's going to be some fast racing action all the way." Again, our chat channels are open. We do monitor the chat channels, so throw out who you think is going to get the win. Tell us who your favorite drivers are, who you're rooting for, because we do monitor those chat channels. I say we as whenever Jeremy, Mr. J Stan, does decide to show up, it will be we, as it is right now just me. So again, we are under our first caution of the night. Very loose race trucks, and that's exactly what I was trying to segue into, was the fact that these trucks are going to have to build up a little heat. They're going to have to build up a little pressure in those tires before we really start getting racy, because that's what's going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. Got loose off that transition going through, coming off of turn 4, and just went haywire all the way. But that does put your current race leader right now in that number 1 truck of Anthony Crownover. Now, he does have his teammate behind him in that number 2, Connor Hazel. So, again, both teammates there. And if you remember, the 2 of Connor Hazel did have a little bit of contact there, but looks like was able to come through there with minimal issues. So, again, excellent to see that. Those 2 Pro Rev esports drivers running first and third. But, again, last week's winner, Brooks Dirting, is up top as well. And speaking of winners, let's take a second to realize this is race number 6 of 16. Yes, the 16 is also counting the championship races, but this is race number 6. We have had 5 different winners in 5 races. So the question on everyone's mind that we have been asking for the last number of weeks already is, are we going to see our first repeat winner tonight, or are we going to be seeing our 6th winner, first-time winner in this series? Again, this is the inaugural season, but I tell you what, these boys have been putting on one hell of a show all season long, and they show no signs of letting up. So it's going to be really good all the way around. But again, you do have Anthony Crownover is sitting in your first position. Brooks Dirting is sitting second. Crownover's teammate Connor Hazel is third. You do have Tyler Bentley back there, who as of recently has been on a rail all the way around and has been doing a fantastic job finishing up there. So he's been jumping up the points quite a bit. He's sitting in 4th position. Jeremy Coors makes his return again tonight. He was off last week, does return tonight to sit here and get down and dirty on this fast speedway, so to speak. Again, good to see him back. He is running in that 5th position. Timothy Swiggett has moved himself into that 6th position. So good to see Swiggett here again. I know that he had been off for a week or so. He is back again. We do have Bryson Dirting. So the other Dirting is running there again. Bryson had been doing very, very well the last couple times. Found himself a couple situations that he had no control over, but has been running very stout and very strong. A little bit of a paint change to his outside there on that 88. That is Joseph Causey. So Joe Causey running something a little different than the Hurricanes, running that Red Dog. He is sitting in 8th. Jason Miz returns in that 24, running 9th. And Josh Benoit is rounding out your top 10 as we run right now. You do see the pace lights are out on that pace car, the official pace car of iRacing, that Ford Mustang. And we do have a Ford on that front row right now. So as you see, the pace car does pull down. Big start from the one of Anthony Crownover as green flag does fly. Really spaced out as we sit here and get ready to veer off into turn 1. So Crownover jumps out.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Right there. So the caution does come out on that one there. Looks like race control did not like that that restart there. So it looks like they're going to try to line it up and try to give it a shot again, as I don't see any cars that had made contact. So seeing as I don't believe our race control is going to throw a caution flag for debris on the track, I'd have to be led to believe that restart there, they're going to try to line that up and try to let these boys have at it again. So as we going back through the field now, we're taking this time. You see some of the damaged cars from that first caution that we just went back. You do see the 92 of Jeff Converse back there. He is damaged as well. Jeff he's been in the wrong place at the wrong time a number of weeks here, but I tell you what, his luck is soon to turn around. The guy has been running stout when he's not in the wrong place at the wrong time. He does an excellent job. So again, perfect. He will bounce back from that. Bradley Brandon, again, your pole sitter for tonight's event, is a little damaged on that right side, but it does appear like that truck can still perform on that. Tim Henderson in that 15 car, or rather truck, does have some damage on him as well. And then that right there, it looks like Ron Holmes there, Mr. Holmesy himself, is the first one that doesn't have any damage on him from that incident. So we will see exactly what is going to come from this one here. It does look like Anthony Crownover's down on. It does look like he has been issued an EOL. So again, race control up in the sky as he's letting everybody pass him here. So situation on that one could have been due to that jump start. So tough break there for the number 1 of Crownover. As it's if that is indeed what happened with what is going on the screen, we would be led to believe that is the case on this one here.
Yes.
But again, got plenty of time. It's early in the race. If anybody can bounce back from an EOL like that, it's going to be that number 1 of Crownover. We've seen him overcome a number of things before, but that will move your current race leader now, Mr. Brooks Dirting, into that number 1 spot with Tyler Bentley in the 55 to his outside. And yes, as you have heard, my partner in crime has finally decided to show up and join us on this fine Thursday night for some kick-ass truck racing. So how are you doing tonight, Jeremy?
Yes, sir. Finally made it. Yep. We're all good to go. I can confirm going back through there that Anthony Crownover did jump the restart there a little bit. So I can confirm that was why he got put to the end of the field, and they reset the field for the race here.
Yeah, and it's, again, a lot of these drivers here trying to get the biggest and the best jump on the competition, because the competition level, Jeremy, here is very, very tight. I mean, these drivers, they're fast. They know what they're doing. They know how to do it, and they are very, very good at it. So everybody's trying to get just that little bit that they can. They're trying to squeeze a dollar out of a dime, so to speak. And every once in a while in this situation, it kind of catches them off guard. But again, Crownover's got plenty of time. We're only servicing lap 10 of 125 at this point in time for the CGE Memorial 125 presented by Martin Sports. So he's got plenty of time to bounce back for sure.
100%. Yeah, this track is one of those tracks to where it doesn't really eat up your tires as much as some other ones, and I'm sure if he bides his time a little bit and can make some moves, it is a multi-groove surface sometimes. The outside does kick in. There's plenty of time, plenty of lanes, and he's got a fast truck each and every week, so I have no doubt in my mind he will make it back up to the front. It's only, like you said, lap 10 of 125. That leaves 115 to go. That's plenty of time for him to get back up there.
Yeah. So what you had missed prior to you going and getting dinner and not bringing me any, I mind you. Granted, I understand there's 1,400 miles difference in between us, but the thought would have been nice. Is right as I was starting to talk about this being a night race and these tires needing to build up a little bit of heat due to the track being loose like that. That's why a lot of these drivers typically try to make a little bit of a tighter setup as it goes on. That way the truck is nice and comfortable there at the end. Our leader at that time, being the number 9 of Bradley Brandon, got loose and collected a few trucks there as everybody tried to scramble. So that's what put us under this most recent caution for the night. So with that said, the pace lights are out on the official pace car of iRacing as they are coming down the backstretch right now. Jeremy, seeing as we didn't get a chance to cover that, what are your expectations tonight? I mean, we're already 11 laps in, but we can still call it. Still an early time. What are your expectations for tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I definitely expect a lot of side-by-side racing for sure. Maybe in the middle of the race, not so much, just kind of ride it out. But it's one of those tracks that, like I said earlier, has a lot of grip. And I expect some high-intensity racing for the most part of this evening. I know some of these drivers, I've seen them race here personally, and they definitely know what they're doing. They're really fast at the beginning of the run, at the end of the run, whatnot. And as we've seen previous to tonight, we've seen lots of strategy play out at multiple different types of tracks. So I would bet my money that they would continue to have different sets of strategies. We've seen some drivers last week hit 20 laps prior to everybody else, and so it really scrambles up the field, and I expect nothing different as they're back to green flag racing here. Good start by Brooks Dirting. Gets about a 2-car length advantage over Tyler Bentley. Jeremy Corr still running at third as they're about 3 wide, actually, entering turn number 3 here. That's actually not too uncommon for this track, and they do back out early. Connor Hazel was the smart man on that one and did back up a little bit to keep it only double file.
Yeah, so again, smart move on the 2 there. He's already had a little scuff in that first incident. Doesn't want to damage the car truck anymore. Does back it out and lives to fight another day. He is holding that 6th position there. But again, you talked about Jeremy Corr. So it looks like these front 5 right now, Jeremy, well, now about a front 8 or 9 are lining up. Not too many drivers trying to pull out there. What it looks like is they're trying to get a feel of let some pressure build up in these tires, some heat and everything else, and kind of feel out what's going on. You had talked about a fuel run. Right now, the window for fuel on these trucks is probably about 40 to 45, but like you said, we have seen drivers stretch fuel farther, so I wouldn't be surprised to see drivers possibly attempting to try to stretch it to 47 laps or so. So that will play a factor into this as well to see exactly how they are going to do that. And what's going to happen is we do have another caution. That is our 3rd caution for the night.
3rd caution indeed. Yeah, it looks like on the backstretch we had a little bit of a checkup with Cody Porter in your 04, and alongside him John Day in the 53. They just kind of merged into the same lane, and one of the drivers definitely had a worse outcome there. I think John Day was able to escape no problem, but Cody Porter actually kicked really sideways into the almost infield grass in turn number 3 and hit the wall on the outside heavy. Thankfully, no other people were involved in that, but some huge impact from Cody Porter into the turn 3 wall there on his lap number 8.
Yeah, hard impact, and actually going back as we just watched the replay, it looked like the 53 of John Day might have got a little bit loose coming off the corner there. And when he did, it looked like the 04 of Porter had to kind of go down a little bit, and they did get close. But Jeremy, again, from the angles we had, it looks like the netcode could have played a little bit of factor in that as well, as their trucks were already starting to act like they were having contact made on them before they were even connected, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was really close. Like, even though technically I don't see contact in that code, could have been a thing. But at the same time, like, Mr. Porter, 7 laps down, running that close to the door panel of someone who's on the lead lap. Kind of curious to know what his mindset was on that. But at the same time, like, I know they're, it's early on and they're trying to get what they can. But it's just really unfortunate. Thankfully, John Day didn't get much of anything, maybe just slight inside damage there, but definitely Cody Porter got the worst of that one.
Yeah, it's hard telling at times. Everybody's driving for their own agendas and trying to do their own thing at times. So with this many drivers out there on the track, we do have 23 drivers that did take the green flag tonight. It's hard telling and hard to try to understand on what everybody is doing. But with that, I mean, it's a single truck incident. Sorry, still got cars on the mind from the dirt race last night. But single truck incident. Like you said, it doesn't seem like that John Day got that much damage, if any, out of that, as we've taken a look at his beautiful painted truck right now. It definitely looks good. Definitely rocking, if you take a look, definitely rocking the Nerditudes logo on the hood. No, that's not why I say that it's a beautiful looking truck, but you know what? We appreciate all the support there. We do know that John Day loves watching the broadcasts, and that's why we put it on, is to make sure everybody has a good time and enjoys it. And obviously they enjoyed enough to throw our logo right on the hood there, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, side note too, that color blue definitely gets me every time I see that kind of shade of blue out there. But to recap from that last incident, Cody Porter did pull down and exit his vehicle. He is done for this evening. And Race Control also gave John Day an EOL penalty. I think that's just because he was involved in that caution, so they sent him to the back regardless. Even though if it's not assault, it's everybody involved. So rightfully so, he's in the back of the field for this restart, as they are got about a lap and a half before they'll return to the green flag action.
Yeah, so, and that's something that they do. Anybody that's involved in it gets an EOL, so that way it's, they don't have to break it down on who is actually at fault, just everybody to the back. If, there is something that is clear on that, Race Control will handle it, and that's what's good about having Race Control. Is to allow these admins and these drivers to just come here and do exactly what they wanted to do, and that's to drive and try to go for that win. With that being said, we are now working lap 17, Jeremy, of 125. We're starting to, these trucks really haven't had a chance to get these tires set, haven't had a chance really to get things going and kind of set into place, so to speak. So I'm kind of looking forward to a green flag run, as most of these drivers probably are as well. Again, they put a lot of time into it, but some of these drivers are still wanting to see, where their truck falls off at, or, what they need to do to change to try to make a long run or a shorter run truck. And they got to have that data to do it. So, we're definitely going to have to get some green flag laps pumping on here. Definitely get these horses flying.
Yeah, especially early on, right, where they want to run, they want to get there to the finish, and when they're being constantly held up by that pesky little yellow flag, for sure they're averaging about 3 or 4 green flag laps or in between each caution here. So hopefully at this point in time they realize patience is definitely need to be a thing, and we can get this thing rolling with a continuous amount of green flag laps like they are wanting to see exactly how you said, to see where their truck stands and if they need to make any adjustments, because right now they don't know what that long run feels like, at least in the race condition anyways. Maybe in practice you can kind of simulate things like that, but the true test is when they're racing against a bunch of other trucks and you got the air pushing them around, this and that, and there's only one way to tell, right, is to have those continuous green flag laps, which hopefully, when this pace car dips down here in about a few seconds, we will see that run like we've seen past. We have had a continuous 100 laps of green flag racing in the past couple weeks, so see if they can get that going. But the green flag is out right now. Brooks Dirting does take off as your race leader on the straight start over Tyler Bentley, and once again, the race lead does prevent off as he has about a truck length advantage over the back, or the 2 trucks behind him, and they're side by side, Dustin. So I'm expecting him to try to gain a little bit of ground there as they're racing side by side. Yeah.
So again, that first starting position there in that inside lane does prevail, but he has got the the 97 of Jeremy Coors all over him right now. Definitely trying to put pressure on him, but Coors himself has got all kinds of pressure behind him from the 55 of Tyler Bentley. So Tyler Bentley's still up there running very, very strong. And you can't look past that 88. Now, it is a little bit of different colors, Jeremy. That's something we covered during pre-race. Not running the Miami Hurricanes tonight, running the Red Dog scheme is none other than Joseph Kazi. He's back there. But right now, the race lead, that 99 of Dirting, is stretching it out over Coors. Now, here's the thing, though. Again, we haven't had that many green flag laps, so we don't know whose truck is geared towards a long run, whose truck is geared towards a shorter run, a mid run. So right now, it's a waiting game to try to get some laps in these, and that's, I believe, what's going on. That's why you see a lot of these trucks are lining up. They're just trying to get some laps in there, with the only one that's out of line there at the moment is going to be that number 8 of Bryson Dirting. Again, and then back there, Anthony Crownover bouncing back from that EOL penalty after that jump start. He's trying to make a comeback, working his way back up there. Do want to make mention as well that Jeff Converse is up in the 11th position. He was involved in that first caution. So he has jumped back up, and not too far behind him is that number 9 as well. Actually, in front of him is Bradley Brandon. So both of them running 10th and 11th have rebounded very nicely in the early stages of this race from that first lap incident.
Yeah, Bradley Brandon, one of those trucks that had a hell of a race last week at Rockingham, and he's got a little bit of momentum on the side, but there's plenty of laps to go. He's only in 10th place, and as you also mentioned with Anthony Crownover, he is on a mission right now. He just crossed the line last lap in 6th place, passing the 88 of Kazi for 5th place. So he's gained about 15 positions since the drop of the green flag, and that guy is, like I say, he's on a mission, and if they had that long green flag run, little cautious about his tires, but I'm sure he's got that well in mind, and may want to start cooling him off here because he's on a rocket ship right now and just smooth sailing past these cars left and right, high side, low side, and that black and blue number 1 there.
Yeah, now you did mention about tires as well. These drivers do have 4 sets of tires, so again, much like fuel, that plays strategy on when you are wanting to use those tires. Some drivers want to use them any chance that they can and try to space them out. Other drivers use them sparingly. If they come in and get fuel, they only change one side or the other. Again, we've seen that strategy work before, but a lot of the times the drivers try to have at least one fresh set of tires within the last 20 to 30 laps so that they have the fastest truck that they can to try to take it to the end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with how many caution laps they've had, they haven't really had a chance to even use those tires up, and so they have 4 sets waiting for them. 25 laps in, that's only 100 laps on 4 sets. I mean, you have a little bit of wiggle room now to kind of go for it if there's a few more cautions, right? So you can, easily just use up those set of tires because, use them when you can. Especially if there is a caution for sure. But yeah, as you finally start seeing this green flag run down, you can see, actually, if you go in the back here, Shane Posey on a turn 1 wall on his lap number 14, heavy impact. It doesn't bring out a caution, doesn't look like, but because he's only by himself, but yeah, heavy impact there. Kept it going. He's going to pull down the pit road this time, most likely, but as I was talking about, they have really spaced out at this point for the most part, and so the patience is definitely there. They're just kind of biding their time at the moment, and we should see that long green flag run that we were all hoping for.
Yeah, and tough break for the 83 Toyota Tundra. He was involved in that first lap incident. Drivers trying to scramble and go everywhere, and just not enough real estate out there for everybody to miss the wreck. And he made early contact with that outside retaining wall. He did verify that retaining wall is solid, though. But again, tough break as the troubles still just keep plaguing the 83 as they have the last couple weeks. But we personally know Shane Posey just as we do a lot of the drivers in this league, and he will bounce back from that. He's much like Converse. Jeff Converse has been having a hard time, been in the wrong place at the wrong time, but he will bounce back as well. That's just the determination of these drivers. They just have a never quit, don't give up attitude. Yeah,
for sure, absolutely. Looks like we got Bryson Dirting trying to make a Dirting show here of 1 and 2, as he is on the back bumper now of Jeremy Coors. That truck's picking up a little bit of steam in the middle of this run here. In that red, white, and blue number 8. So we might see the Dirting show come up soon. Also, we got Anthony Crownover. He's kind of relaxing right now a little bit, as we mentioned with the tires, and so just kind of chilling him out and maybe making a leg run push here if his truck can be good on the long run, as we are starting to learn on who's fast and who's not in the middle of this green flag run anyways. Tyler Bennett sending in 4th. Just kind of chilling out as well. I think he's about on par with the number 8 of Bryson Dirting as far as speed goes. It looks like Coors starting to fall off just a little bit more than these top 5 or so, but outside of that, everyone's still nice and spaced out. Maybe a little bit of racing here from Josh Benoit in 11th place, looking to get into the top 10 of Connor Hazel, which he does go to the inside of him right now in turn 1. And it looks like Josh Benoit might be able to clear him off the corner, which he sure does. He takes the top 10 from Connor Hazel.
And it does look like the 06 of Clayton White is going to try to follow his teammate right on through, which he does. And it doesn't stop there as he's putting the nose on the inside of the 46 of Benoit. So Clayton White starting to move forward here a little bit. He's starting to get racy as we are now working lap 32 of 125. So we're working towards the tail end. So Jeremy, as it sits, could possibly be that Clayton White in that 06 might have a little bit of a longer run truck underneath him as he's starting to pick up speed here, whereas some of the others have been dropping off as he does complete the pass on the 46. So again, you're starting to see a lot of differences in setups here, and it's going to make a difference depending on when this race is going to end.
Yeah, another one of those drivers too, Joseph Kazi. He actually goes back around, or at least trying to, on the inside of Anthony Crownover entering turn one here. They're side by side, almost made some contact, getting real close there. Trying to eat up that side draft, gets a good run there off the exit of turn two for being in the inside lane. They are nose to nose entering turn number 3 here. I do want to make a quick mention that Shane Posey did back out after that damage, so he is the 4th driver that has exited the field this evening. But Joseph Kazi is still on that push there to get back into the 5th place here over Anthony, and looks like he might be able to do it in this turn one as Anthony truck just looks a little too tight there on the outside, Dustin. I don't think he has the grip to kind of hold it off, and Kazi is showing some good speed here as he actually didn't lose too much ground over the top 3 or top 4 for that matter, and actually, Jeremy Coors going back up to 2nd place. He's actually gaining some ground on Brooks Dirting. As I mentioned, I didn't think he was going to be... I thought he was going to back up a little bit, but apparently he was kind of holding back here. So he's going to be making another push for the race lead.
Yeah, now one thing to remember about Crownovers, he did have to work his way through the field after that EOL on that first restart of the race. But yes, again, you see the 24... of Jason Miz popping out there going around. So Crownover going the wrong way here, definitely chomping at the bit to try to get to his crew, try to make some much needed adjustments if needed, and get a fresh pair of Goodyear sneakers on there. But like you had stated, Jeremy Coors has closed that gap on the 99 of Brooks Dirting. Dirting, they're going a little blinky, and that's not what you want to be doing when you're up on that top spot there. Someone else on the move as well as that 55 of Tyler Bentley as he's trying to put the nose on the inside of the 8 of Bryson Dirting. Dirting able to pull back down and pull in front. But now Bentley getting a lot of pressure from the 88 of Kazi behind him. Kazi sticking it low, putting that nose there, looking to try to pass.
Yeah, definitely making a good push for it. Kazi's got a really fast truck right now, so it's definitely showing as he just kind of almost clears Tyler Bentley exiting turn number 2. They're still side by side, barely. Let's see if he gets to get them cleared. Yep, Bentley kind of backs up a little bit, kind of just gives it away, and Kazi now taking your 5th place spot there as Bryson Dirty kind of falling back a little bit as well, and Jeremy Coors falling back as well. It's going to give Brooks Dirty just a little bit extra breathing room there.
Yeah, and again, we are working towards pits. We're working lap 38 of 125, so pits are going to be coming, Jeremy, as early as I would say at least the next 2 laps. So you're going to start seeing a lot of these trucks here very soon, in just a matter of laps, start peeling down pit road to come to the service of their crews. Again, Clayton White still on the move as well, up to 9th place now. He did qualify further back, worked his way back up as well. But you're starting to see a lot of space with a lot of these drivers starting to space out quite a bit. So again, you're starting to see the differences in the setups come in. It's going to be interesting to see what happens after these drivers do come to the service of their crews, to see how they are going to rebound and exactly how that is going to alter the outcome of this race. Where is it going to put them at? Because just one minor change on any of these trucks can put them in contention to take that lead.
Yeah, my expectations that I mentioned would have different fuel strategies, but at this point in time, I'm not seeing it. We saw Josh Benoit try to do it last week, and it kind of bit him in the tail, and so maybe they kind of recognized that, and now they're all almost on the same game plan because there's not really much laps left before they do have to pit if that 40 to 45 lap window does hold up to be true. We see Kazi just easy make some work of Jeremy Coors there to take second place, so he might be able to get to the 99 of Brooks Dirting here shortly, even before the pit stop possibly, because that car's on or truck rather is on a rail right now.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's set up more for the longer run because his truck has really started to come in just in about the last 5 to 7 laps, even going back to about lap 10, so it's definitely really good. I do want to give a shout out to Melissa Benoit is on there, so the Josh Benoit fan club in the house, as she says, go Josh Benoit, good luck to all Hideaway Motorsports. So again, fan clubs in the house are already trying to call it out. Right now, Benoit is running in 11th, just outside the top 10, which is uncommon for him. I don't know. It might be working a different strategy, or that truck just may not be handling the way that he was expecting. Again, we're about ready to come down for green flag pit stops, which, Jeremy, you know as well as I, can get really, really hairy at this track. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I'd be interested to see how that changes and if Benoit can't bounce back and get up into the top 10 there.
Yeah, I'm sure he's one of those trucks that just kind of waiting for their time, and I expect nothing less. He'll be up there. He's been fast all season long so far. Expect nothing different there as he's about to make the pass on Bradley Brandon here. Gets right up to the back bumper anyways. I changed my focus a little bit to third through about 6th or 7th. 7th place, yeah. They're all nose to tail here right before the green flag stops are expected to happen, so this might cause a little bit of a cluster here entering pit road if they all happen to be on the same lap strategy as far as pitting goes. So kind of curious to see when they dip down to pit road and see who's going to work with who. I know draft isn't too much of a thing here compared to like super speedways per se, but it does help. It does have some speed, maybe some teamwork going on. We'll find out here. As 97, Jeremy Coors does dip down pit road. He is the first leader to take a pit stop, and I think he actually overshot the entrance. It looks like he might have sped into pit road. We'll see if that. But yeah, he's I don't know, Dustin. He didn't lock up the tires, but I think he might have been a little too hot in the pit road there.
And if that is the case, that is going to be a tough break. But we will not know until he actually re-enters the racing surface on that. If you go a lap down here, it is really tough to get that lap back. And at that point in time, you're pretty much hoping for a caution on the lucky dog. So let's hope that is not the case on that 97 of Jeremy Coors as he is now exiting the pits. Again, we're going to start seeing a lot of other drivers probably start peeling down here very quick. Again, we're 46 of 125. So, I mean, we're past that initial window guesstimation that, I had stated earlier, but we've already seen drivers start to come down. I don't know how much longer they would be able to hold, but we're bound to find out here, Jeremy. And again, you know as well as I do how tricky the pits can be, especially when it come to, you had stated, I mean, the first one that peeled down was Coors, and already, could have been pushing it close to speeding on that entry.
Yeah, I mean, I already see a mistake a little bit there. I don't know if John Day was trying to make a pit entrance, but he tagged the apron there and got loose and had to lock him up. I don't know if he was trying to slow down or what, but we're starting to see a little bit of mistakes happen here as they're gearing up for that first green flag stop of this evening. Just kind of waiting to see everybody else. Jeremy Coors, if Jeremy Coors has like 3 or 4 laps on his tires when everybody else pits, that's a huge advantage as far as time goes. So I expect him to maybe be in that lead once everybody does cycle through. So that might have been a good call to make that a little bit of an early pit entrance. We'll see later in the run if that is the case, but I do believe he did not get flagged for that pit entrance speeding as he is still staying on the track. So I think that might have been a little bit of a missed call on my part, but he nailed that pit stop perfectly if that is the case. Yep, still waiting for everybody else to make that dip down. As you see the leaders in turn number 3. I don't see anyone dipping down this time by as well. So this is probably good news for Jeremy Coors as he's just gaining a lot of ground on these guys on much older tires. Going back through the field here. We see everyone still single file
right,
for the
man,
most part. Caution is actually out on the track. As soon as I was starting to talk about the field there, as we go back, we see Josh Benoit actually did make a pit stop here. Trying to find out where that caution was. Not entirely sure where it was. I didn't see a wreck on the track. See if we can find it here for you guys in just a moment.
Now, unfortunately, that's going to shake up the strategy for some of those that have pitted already. A lot of these drivers that were staying out are going to come down and have fresher tires. And as it sits right now, roughly about 5 to 7 lap fresher tires. And again, before that caution to come out, what we were trying to segue into is that we've seen the short pit thing work really good before, because as the drivers are out there pulling down hot laps with fresh tires, the drivers that are slower are losing a lot more time. So it's a give and take on what time and when you come in, because you don't want to do it too late, because by the time, it doesn't matter how good you're going to nail that pit stop, by the time you come out, you would already have lost so much time out there on the track.
Absolutely, and actually, I do believe iRacing did call the caution on Holmesy. He didn't wreck or anything, but he was starting to slow down in front of Shane, or the 15 Subway machine there of Tim Henderson. And I think iRacing may have thought that had been too much of a speed difference, and then threw the caution just out of sake of on the safety side. But actually, I didn't see a wreck on the track, so I think that's where the iRacing did throw the caution, which is kind of unfortunate for some of these guys. I think Jeremy Coors actually might want to come down for another set of tires. It looks like he didn't actually, but that's going to leave him in the lead with 5 lap older tires or so compared to everybody else on the field. So doing that short pit and where the caution fell has actually put him in I would think, a huge disadvantage, Dustin.
Yeah, and it very well could as it sits. But, I mean, these drivers were already stretching it out. I mean, it could be a disadvantage, but at the same time, his truck seemed like it came in more on a mid-run to begin with. I mean, 5 laps it's a substantial amount. But, if anybody can hold it off, there's a number of drivers that can, and Jeremy Coors is definitely one of them that can try to pull that strategy off. But again, only time is going to tell how that's going to work out. Right now, he's out there in the lead, and the first truck that has 4 fresh Goodyears is that 99, sitting only 3 trucks behind him.
Yeah, he's going to be chomping at the bit once that green flag drops. He knows he's got the truck to beat right now, unless Kazi picks a good push early on, but Kazi with that late-run truck. Let's see if he's now in position to try to take over Mr. Dirting in the 99. But yeah, I think you're right. Coors is one of the guys that you never want to turn away from, and I think he will hold these guys off just fine. This track, like I said earlier, does not eat tires up like some of the other tracks they've been at this season. So I think short run wise he'll be just fine. Well, just about the long run is where things might get a little tricky for him.
Yeah, and as pit stops are starting to cycle through and cycle out, that is going to jumble our lineup here. Again, drivers that had been running in the top 5 now are just outside. Anthony Crownover is back up there. That's something that he was looking for. Definitely wanted to come to the service of his crew. Tyler Bentley is still up there as well, running in 7th. Benoit, excellent rebound, sitting in 8th. And Clayton White having a stellar run here at Charlotte tonight, sitting in 9th place. So again, those two have been right there around the top 10 for most of the night through that long run there. The Fat Caterpillar, Mr. Rich Malagani, is rounding out your final position in that top 10 as it sits right now. Converse, as again you can see right there, the tail end of the truck. As we're going to go on the deck lid there, you can see that crinkle there from that early race incident, and that's going to definitely affect the aerodynamics of this truck here, but again has been running very stout and very solid, staying with it, sitting in 11th place. So again, trying to make something good out of that early race caution. Tim Henderson in 12th. You got Connor Hazel in 13th. So again, a lot of these trucks definitely happy that caution came out so they could come down without having to be forced for green flag pit stops.
Yeah, you don't have to risk the chance of maybe getting loose or something, entering the pit road. Also, that gives the teams plenty of times to figure out what they wanted to do as far as any truck setup changes or anything of that nature. So a couple of things that they could benefit from having that late run caution there where they did not have to pit under green. So as we see, actually, looked like Jeremy Coors while we were talking there. I think he went down pit road. I don't see him there in the front, Dustin, as I was kind of cycling through all the trucks. It looks like Brooks Dirting is going to be starting in second to Jason Miz, who resumed the lead after a couple of trucks did hit pit road. So I guess Jeremy Coors had something he needed to work on, or maybe second guess that tires being 5 laps older than everybody else, which, like I was mentioning, could be a huge difference on the long run. But he did think differently and came down and got that taken care of as the pace car is about to dip down. Let's see if Jason Miz can hold off Brooks Dirting for at least a lap, because we know that truck is bad fast right now. And maybe a little bit of a tire spin if Jason Miz does try to get on it hard early. As we see the car dip down, green flag is out as of right now, and easy restart there. Maybe he did have some tire spin after all, and Brooks Dirting just ate him up for lunch right there as he enters turn 1 as your race leader.
Yeah, still trying to get a hold of it, but again, you got to remember these are fresh tires, and that was part of the issue that brought out that first yellow with the number 9 there on lap 1 of Bradley Brandon, was not allowing these tires to build up, allow those pressures and heat to get built up into them. And they will tire spin. These things will get loose. And that looks like it's exactly what happened. But the 99 of Brooks Dirting not wasting any time and starting to space it out. But Causey coming on hard. There was easily about a 3 car length difference in between those two as they were coming out of 4 and just down that those dog legs there, or that quad oval coming through there. He closed it up to almost right on the back bumper of the 99 of Brooks Dirting.
Yep, he sure did, for sure. But as you see, Anthony Crownover is one of those guys that had that really fast truck and had to come down for that penalty early. He's actually making some decent lap times right now. I expect him to be up there maybe in the top 3 here in a short bit. Also on the notate too, Jeremy Coors, I was actually going back and looking at him a few laps ago, and he actually got in the back of Connor Hayes on the 2 on the pace lap. He sustained a little bit of a nose damage himself. Didn't look like it's much, but anytime you get direct impact on the nose, you always have to worry about the radiator or anything of that nature. So, but looking at his lap times, I think that's not a problem in this case, but one of those little unfortunate circumstances. Going back to the field here, Richard Malagani just cleared the 37 for 9th place overall right there. Everybody else, for the most part, just single file, kind of filling out their trucks as they made those setup changes underneath the caution.
Yeah, and as you were talking about the 97 of Jeremy Coors, we did go on board on the roof cam there and did see the crinkled nose there on the right front. So, again, minimal light damage at this track here. Any damage is going to have an effect of some kind, but light damage like that's going to have a minimal effect. They can still get the job done. They can still make it happen, but he definitely wants to be careful with that one there. Is back up front, the 99 still spacing it out, looking like easily a 3 to 4 car length lead over the 88 of Causey. Causey coming under all kinds of fire from the 24 of Jason Miz. As Miz has really been coming on strong in the later stages of this race here as we're working lap 60 of 125. So almost halfway through this race, he's really coming on strong as he has a little blinky there as I was talking about him. But also, the 24 Miz is getting a lot of pressure from Bryson Dirting in that 8 truck right behind him. So again, a lot of these drivers very, very close. Not going to take much to try to get past them. And then, as you were talking about, Crownover is right back there, rounding out your top 5. Going back, you do have Josh Benoit and Tyler Bentley and Clayton White. So 3 Hideaway Motorsports drivers running 6th, 7th, and 8th. So as time goes on, it does appear that they are getting those trucks dialed in as well. And that's what you were going to see, folks, as time goes on, these drivers will get these trucks dialed in, and they will get faster, and the racing will get harder, especially as we get closer to lap 125.
Yep, for sure. And Josh Benoit is one of those trucks that we expected him to make a push back to the front, and he sure has. He was at 9th or 10th. We talked about him before. He's up to 6th. So he's finally started to show some steam here as the night creeps on a little bit later. Maybe they made some good setup changes underneath that caution to help that truck out to get where it needs to be, which is up in the front. Joseph Kazi, I expect him to make a good push over Brooks on the start there, but he's kind of laying back, and I think that long run is what he is waiting for. If we can get another one of those, I think he might take a shot at Brooks, starting to kind of erase what he's been doing so far, which is leading almost every single green flag lap possible. Jason Miz kind of holding his own in third there. He did have some blinking there, but I think it's kind of fixed itself and running solid right now. In third is that he's like one of the lead trucks with the oldest set of tires on. Not too many laps in comparison. I think that was like 3 or 4, but nonetheless, he's holding himself up well in the top 3. And yeah, Bryson Dirting still wants to make it the Dirting and Dirting show, but that truck did have some speed on it before that caution, and right now he's just kind of hanging out. Maybe something on the late run like we saw before the caution came out. He might get himself into that position. Creeping back through the field here. Everyone just single file for the most part. I don't see any good solid racing at the moment. They're just kind of laying out. It is halfway through the race at this point, and so just like that normal mid-race lull. Kicking back over to Joseph Kazi in second too, Dustin. Huge gain this past lap or two, and now he is almost to the bumper as he switches to the high side there. He has found some mid-race grip on the top side. Is about 3 or 4 miles an hour faster over Brooks Dirting, entering turn number 3 here and gain almost to the bumper. Did get a light scrape on the wall there, but as you see him back on the high side once again, he is finding some grip and some speed up there.
Yeah, and where he gets it at is that you had seen the last lap there, the 99 of Dirty moved up and put the blocks on that run that he was having going off into turn 3. His runs are coming off the corner. He's carrying so much speed up on that high side that he gets such excellent runs coming off the corner there. The thing is, though, is nobody's really been running up there, so not the cleanest area up there, so he's got to be careful not to get a lot of junk on the tires there, because the more marbles you get on the tires there, the looser that truck is going to get. So, but again, the 88 at this point in time, we are halfway through the race today, and these drivers are trying to find places for later on to know where they can go to try to find that little extra bit of speed to try to put them in that top spot, crossing that start-finish line on lap 125 first.
I want to rotate back to Jeremy Coors. He has fallen off drastically. I think that nose damage is finally starting to show its ugly face here. He is substantially far behind, like a half a track rather, compared to the race lead right now. So I think that damage just finally started to show itself. As we go back to Bryson Dirting, had taken over third place from Jason Miz. So Dirting with that mid-race push that I mentioned, I think he's starting to finally show some speed there as he opened the door for Anthony Crownover to get underneath Jason Miz, as well as he will finish off taking fourth place. He bobbled a little bit actually in turn number 3. It's going to leave Jason Miz a good shot off the corner to try to hold back in that fourth place, which he does take that back over.
Yeah, and now the drivers are starting to close in. These lead drivers are starting to close up on something that they haven't had to up to this point, really, and they're eventually going to be coming up to some lap traffic as well that they're going to have to work on, which it looks like that is the number 20 truck of Taylor Toller. Is going to be the first one that they are really going to come to under green flag conditions. You do see that 20 truck move up to the high side. That is a sportsman veteran move there. Allow these race leaders to have at it and not partake in any issues or cause any issues. So excellent sportsmanship right there shown by Mr. Toller.
Yeah, for sure. You give him an early call, say, hey guys, I'm staying high, and when you hold to it like that, it definitely shows a sportsmanship, and a lot of these drivers on this track do have that for one another, which is awesome to see regardless of where you're at on the track. Brooks Dirting getting some pressure once again from Joseph Kazi. He laid back a few laps after running the high side, and he's found some new ground speed. On the bottom here, as he looks just slightly lower into the corner than Brooks does. Brooks with a nice little diamond shape almost, but it's not really affecting the speed from Kazi, as Kazi is right there, putting some heavy pressure on Brooks, trying to take over that top spot for the first time on the green flag laps here this evening at Charlotte. And the instruction is going to get better and better from here, because I did recognize on that last long run that he did have a really stout truck on that long run. So as he does kind of peak low here, trying to see if he can squeeze in it, but no, Brooks starting kind of through into the corner, a little extra speed there. It actually kind of worked out for him. The truck actually sticks, and maybe Brooks trying to learn something a little different to hold off Kazi here.
Yeah, and actually, as we're on board with Kazi right now, as close as what he was getting, it almost looks like he could have been trying to get him a little aero loose or aero tight going through those corners as close as what he was, which is a way to try to work them up off as he's right on the back bumper. The 99 does have the nose on the inside there, does time it almost just right. But the question is the 99 at Dirting going to have that run off turn 2? And he does have that run off turn 2, able to hold off the 88 of Kazi. And that's the power of that high side. May not be the fastest through the corner, but it's fast right where you want it, right on that corner exit of 2 and 4. You can get a really good. So, again, the 88 of Kazi back to the drawing board. Going to have to try to tackle this one a little bit at a little bit different angle, as the 99 of Brooks Dirting, Jeremy, is not going to give that top spot up easy.
No, he knows he's led almost, or I think every green flag lap at this point, so or at least close to it. And he doesn't want to lose that streak. He knows that fresh air is very valuable. And as Kazi hangs back behind Brooks Dirting, one of the side effects of running behind someone like that is you do enter the corner a little bit of faster speed with that draft, so not by much, but it does scrub off a little extra speed if you're trying to push the truck heavy into the turn 1 or turn 3. So this actually might be beneficial to Brooks as long as he can hold off the pressure of Kazi, as Kazi is back there once again. Just running directly behind Brooks, not going to make a push here into this corner. Just kind of, as you mentioned, trying to get him aero loose this time. And Brooks actually slid up the track slightly that time. So I think the pressure from Kazi is starting to get to Brooks just a little bit. Trying to throw that truck in as fast as possible to maybe get him to slip up and get a nice little run onto the inside, as he actually looks to the high side this time for some grip. Didn't really find it that time, as Brooks is looking pretty stout on the bottom.
Yeah, looking very stout indeed, as he is all over him going through. Now, these two racing like that is allowing the 8 of Bryson Dirting to really close it up and try to chase these guys down. Again, it's that's the thing about this track here, is you don't want to be held up too much when it comes to racing like that, for this reason here, because the lead and everything else that you were able to get or stretch out can close up very, very fast, and what was a 2-truck race can now become a 5-truck race, which, as you can imagine, increases the difficulty exponentially.
For sure, right. I was cycling back a little bit too as you were talking about them. Everyone's for the most part spaced out, except for Josh Benoit is actually dropping back a little bit. He gives up 7th place to Timothy Swiggett. He was that truck that we talked about that made it back up to 6th place, but I guess this long run's just not for him right now, as he's falling back to his teammate now of Clayton White in 9th place in that 06 truck, Sticker Cabana Chevrolet. And also Jeff Converse behind him. He's actually making a run on both of these guys, as Converse trying to make up some ground there, currently sitting in 10th place himself. I'm going to cycle back to 5th and 4th place, as that's the next race here. Jason Miz under pressure from Tyler Bentley in that 55. Outside of that, you got Brooks Dirting trying to pull away a little bit again from Joseph Kazi, so that he's relieved some of that pressure. So maybe he's trying to make too strong of a run too early, and now his tires need to be chilled off a little bit, as we got about probably 10 or 15 laps before we see the next round of green flag stops.
Yeah, so again, these drivers here, the 55 of Tyler Bentley, as we were just watching him, is on the inside of Jason Miz. Looks like Miz is going to relinquish that, gets real close to that wall, definitely has to pull it down, but these two are still side by side down that back stretch. Miz not giving it up, but I would expect the 55 of Bentley to take that over on the exit. But with that, as we are coming up on green flag pit stops, Jeremy, we are going to take a short commercial break, give a shout out to those sponsors and those supporters of this fine racing league, as well as the broadcast team. So sit tight. We have nonstop coverage, video coverage for you as the commercials play, so you will not miss a thing. So hang tight. We will be right back with you. And we are back from a commercial break. Let these drivers start stretching it out a little bit. As you can tell on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, that these drivers are getting spaced out. So a lot of the drivers that were running side by side are not running side by side anymore. Even your race leader still has a little bit of gap between himself and the 88 of Kazi. Kazi still trying to put some pressure on there, but there is about a truck length distance in between. You're looking at about a 5 truck length distance as the 99 does pull it down pit road. 99 of Brooks Dirting is going to be your first truck taking green flag pit stops. So again, now that this has started, these drivers are going to want to make sure, and what they are hoping for, Jeremy, is that it goes green flag until they can cycle all the way through, so that what happened last time during green flag pit stops doesn't happen again, where it got a couple people off pace and a couple people down.
Yeah, we saw Coors have the very worst end of that, where he's the only person that came down for that green flag stop before the caution, and then in doing so got tangled up on a little pace lap incident, and now it's kind of ruined his day for the most part. He's just not be able to recover, sitting in 14th currently. So it definitely can affect your race for sure. I want to notate that Brooks Dirting did come down roughly about 40 laps of green flag racing, and right now we have about 40 laps left in this event, so this should be the final stop for these guys. As long as there's no more cautions, this should be on their very last pit stop for sure. With that, Brooks Dirting coming down early, and everybody else not really coming down at the moment. Only a couple drivers that were kind of in the back. Anthony Cronover did make his stop. He was running right at the top 5. But as these trucks wind down here, Brooks Dirting is running about a second and a half faster than each and everybody out there that has not pitted at this time. And so we should see everybody come down here within the next few laps so they don't lose too much ground over your race leader once it does cycle back, which should retain as Brooks Dirting.
Yeah, and this is actually a really good strategy by Brooks Dirting. Again, knowing, having a heads up and knowing exactly how many laps are left in the event, that he can make it on the end. It elects to, instead of elongating and stretching it out, come in and get fresh tires now for exactly what we were talking about earlier, Jeremy, which is put down some blistering laps because the longer that they are out there on the track, the slower they are, and he can make up a lot of ground on there, so that by the time this cycles through, if everything goes right, he may not have the 88 Akazi right on his back bumper. That means that the 88 Akazi will have to work harder to try to get back up there. Now, again, this could play a factor. On the flip side of that is the 88 Akazi will have newer tires by a few laps over Dirting at that time towards the tail end of the race, and that can play a factor. So as you can tell, it's a give and take either way on how these drivers are going to do it, but that's the great thing about racing. You have to gamble, as the 88 is down slow on the apron, making his pit entrance as he comes in a little hot and a little squirrely, has to lock it up. That is not good for the 88 of Kazi. That is not what he wanted for a pit entry, and that is the difficult thing with green flag pit stops. Ladies and gentlemen, these drivers have been going now for 45 laps, pedal to the metal, going down at speeds of 180 mile an hour, and then all of a sudden have to slow it all the way down to pit speed, and that's the difficulty. You have a hard time doing that. Jeremy, you and I have been there a number of times. You get in the mindset of going fast, and when you have to slow it down like that, sometimes it catches you off guard.
That's huge, yeah. If he got the penalty, for sure, it's going to be huge. But even if he did for whatever reason, make it down to speed limit at the line, when you get sideways like that, he's scrubbed probably 2 or 3 seconds off that potential lead that he would have had. So he's got some work to do for sure. As we see, as he gets back onto the track, we have like Josh Benoit, who is running 8th place, just past him now. So like that kind of just shows you like he's going to fall back probably between 5th and 10th, most likely. We did see almost everyone at this point do come down. As we were talking about that, we saw Jason Miz, Swiggett, Crownover. We see Tyler Bentley exiting pit road right now. Almost all these guys that are in the race lead have made their pit stops. Jeff Converse, I did see him come down as well. Bryson Durning came down a little bit ago, so everyone did fully cycle through for the most part. Brooks right now, once everything does fully kick over, will be your race leader, and he's actually got a good time chunk between him and the next truck, which actually looks like to be Connor Hazel. But we'll make sure that cycles through before we give you the accurate quote there, as the scoreboard is updating each and every lap as they do complete through their cycle for sure. Jason Miz not pitting rather on that last restart. He was actually able to hold up and maintain, and now he's on the same lap of tires as everybody else out there. And right now it looks like he's potentially passing 3rd place, or 2nd place rather. No, actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, Connor is actually a couple laps down. So I think right now, Jason Miz
running 4th.
Currently running in 4th place. Yes, that's correct. Just behind him, Anthony Crownover did resume in 5th place.
Yeah, so again, that's a pit strategy right there that is proven that it worked. That worked out in his favor. Pushed Jason Miz right up there with everybody else. He does have the one of Anthony Crownover chewing up his back bumper there, which is perfectly fine. But the amount of space by the time this cycles out, right now Josh Benoit is scored as your race leader, but I would imagine he is going to have to come down pit lane at some point in time, as Rich Malagani had been up there leading a number of laps, and Rich did bring it down pit road to the service of his crew. So the last one that would be left right now would be Josh Benoit, as he's out there ticking laps. When Josh does come to the service of his crew, that is going to put Brooks Dirting in 1st and Jason Miz running 2nd, with Anthony Crownover rounding out your top 3 at this point in time. Bryson Dirting still back there, currently scored as 5th. Again, after Benoit comes in, will be scored as 4th. And Kazi, after that pit road debacle, which is not something that we commonly see coming out of the 88 camp, is again running right in 6th place, right behind Bryson Dirting, trying to make up as much ground as what he did. But again, you can already see the space from Jason Miz all the way up to the 99 of Brooks Dirting, as we're on the roof cam right now. That's Dirting in turns 3 and 4 right now, so you can see the distance and space that has happened. So Brooks has put himself in a very, very good position to try to take another win this season.
Kazi currently 8 seconds behind Brooks Dirting, so that little mishap there in the entrance of pit road did cost him 8 seconds of on-track time. So super unfortunate there. Benoit running that run it till it's dry strategy. He knows everybody else short pitted, and I feel like he knows this is probably one of his last-ditch efforts to make a bid for the win for tonight. By just hanging out on the track, he's running 1.3 to 1.4 seconds slower than second place right now, Brooks Dirting. So I know you said that windows was about 40 to 45 laps, but he's able to stretch this thing past 50 laps. So that tank has to be running dry dust in here real shortly.
Yeah, it would have to. It'd be interested to know the last time that he had come down pit road. He is definitely stretching a lot of it out. But one thing to keep in mind, Jeremy, is we're on board right now looking at all the traffic coming at him. As you see, Rich Malagani is another one that's coming up there as well. It does sound like that he possibly is trying to conserve gas. It does sound like he's possibly clutching it there, and possibly killing the engine, allowing it to drift through the corner. So again, it's a veteran move right there. Knowing where you're sitting at and how to try to save and conserve. Knowing you don't have to push it, you do get a number of a little bit of distance in between you. So as you see the 22 of Malagani going by, I'm like you. I am interested to see exactly how far he can stretch this, Jeremy, as we are working with 25 laps to go. I don't know. Again, I would not be surprised at anything anymore because these drivers have proven us wrong time and time again. We try to figure it out. We try to make a call, and they throw us a joker card, and everything's all topsy-turvy. So it's hard telling at this point in time exactly what the game plan is for that 46 crew.
Yeah, that's why we're up here, and they are down there on the racing surface. But I did go back and look at my secondary screen, and Josh Mawad did pit on lap 52. So he is currently at 50 laps on track since his last pit stop. And actually, he does make the dip down pit road. So this will be your final truck to cycle through the green flag stops, and this will put Brooks Dirting in a huge lead over right now Bryson Dirting, who is about 3.5 seconds back of Brooks. So it is right now the Dirting and Dirting show. They finally made that a thing. Jason Miz only 0.6 behind Bryson, though, looking to kind of spoil that little party right now. But right now, Bryson and Brooks do take first and second place.
Yeah, and again, you see the 8 of Bryson going by the lap down truck of Coors. But right now, the man on the move is that 88 of Kazi. He chased down, had passed Crown over, has now passed Miz, and is setting his sights on the 8 truck right now of Bryson Dirting. So it'd be interesting to see what's going on with that. Now, there was a number change. If you do recall, last week it was the 8 and the 88 show. Those two were going at it. Last week, Brooks Dirting was piloting the 8 truck at that time. That number has been swapped over, so now you got Bryson in the 8 and Brooks in the 99. But again, the 88 of Kazi is definitely setting his sights on Bryson at this point in time. But as you said right now, for the current moment, it is the Dirting and Dirting show up front, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. Once Brooks came alive last week at Rockingham, he's running a huge wave of momentum right now and could potentially he's setting himself up perfectly for this race win. But yeah, Kazi is the man on the mission, dipping below Bryson there in the 8 truck. It does clear him barely off the exit of turn number 4, entering lap 106, which will put these guys at 20 laps to go before we get to the race finish. He's got some work to do to gain to him. Looking at the leaderboard, he's only 2.5 seconds back of Brooks Dirting. We know that truck looks good on the long run, but he's definitely got his work cut out for him in 20 laps to make up 2.5 seconds on Brooks Dirting.
Yeah, but again, this is setting up almost just like Rockingham, Jeremy. If you recall last week, I was almost the same thing. By the time everything had cycled out, green flag pit stops had cycled, there was about a 2 to 2.5 second distance in between Kazi and Brooks last week as well. And he was able to chase it down. And I tell you what, those two drivers put on a hell of a show going to the ending there, with Brooks being the driver that prevailed, being our 5th straight first-time winner since the season here at Fuel for the Sticker Cabana Truck Series started. So again, not an uncommon situation, not an uncommon area for these drivers, and they've been here before. The question is the outcome going to be the same, or are we going to have a different outcome this time around?
Over the past 2 laps, Joseph Kazi has gained 0.4 of a second. So at this rate, he will be there as long as those tires can withstand the speed under Joseph Kazi. But as you see, Josh Benoit makes some good work, taking that late stop. He's passing people on the high side. He is not for position, but he is gathering up the race leader here in the next half a lap or so. Just notate that he's currently 1 lap down. We'll gain his lap back once he does pass Brooks. But yeah, Joseph is a mission right now. He gained another 0.2 that lap, so that puts him only 2 seconds back. So that's a second and a half gained real quick. I think he's gonna potentially have a good chance of getting there.
Yeah, he will. A little bit of a wobble there out of the 46. You were talking about the 46 being much faster on those newer tires. He come off of turn 2 there, had a little bit of wobble. Both trucks had to go down the track to prevent any contact, but the 46 does clear him. That does put Benoit back on the lead lap, again racing it, so he is solidly in 10th right now. Jeremy Coors right behind him in 11th, and Connor Hazel in 12th. Rich Malagani is in 9th place. Again, Rich has been running a very, very clean, strong race so far. Has been up there to lead a couple laps as well. So again, solid showing for that 22 Caterpillar. 92 of Jeff Converse, again running in 8th. I tell you what, Jeremy, this guy here has bounced back, and he's been there. He's been consistent. He's been running. He's looking to get yet another top 10, even with everything that has happened, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's still working at it, and he's still not giving up. Some of the best dedication and just not, don't give a shit, not giving up kind of attitude is Converse there. So again, it's good to see him there as he's trying to chase down Timothy Swiggett is the next one, and he's just in that pack right ahead of him. Swiggett, again, we haven't called his name that much, but has been in the top 10 most of the night. Been running very clean. We have been calling Tyler Bentley's name as well. He has been up there battling for the lead. He's still sitting in 6th place. Anthony Crownover is your 5th place truck as it runs at the moment. Again, good bounce back from that early race. EOL from that very first restart after the first caution has bounced back and is in the top 5 and has been hanging around the top 5 for most of the night since he was able to get back through. Jason Miz with a solid run right now, running in 4th position. This is exactly what this 24 team needed. Miz not able to catch all the races from time to time, so when they do, a good solid points run like this here, a good solid clean run as he gets a little close to that wall and a little loose coming off of turn 2, but able to collect it up is always good for that 24 team. We've been talking about Bryson Durden in that 8 truck, again running in 3rd place. These drivers had been going at it, but he has fallen off the pace of that 88 of Joseph Kazi. But again, a solid run for Bryson, which is exactly what he needed. Had some troubles being in the wrong place at the wrong time at Rockingham. So this team's definitely looking to try to turn that around tonight, and they are doing exactly what they need to achieve that. Joseph Kazi, we've talked about the next 2 drivers. I'm going to talk about them at the same time. We are setting up right now to possibly have the exact same outcome as what we had last week, Jeremy, at Rockingham between the 88 of Kazi and now the 99 of Brooks Durden, as these drivers are giving it everything they have. Both of these trucks have been on fire all night. They've had rocket ships underneath them, and it's looking like we could pose out to have, again, our first repeat winner of the season, seen as the first driver that does not have a league victory here at the Fired Up Esports League, currently running on the track as your 3rd place sitter, Bryson Durden.
Yeah, that is correct. And as you had the mic right there, the past 6 laps, which puts them actually at 10 laps to go this time, Joseph Kazi has gained 9/10 of a second. So we went from 2 seconds from the last time I had the mic back, or almost to 1.1 seconds back, making some huge gains here. And he's not shown any signs of letting up. So as that math sits, if he can keep that pressure going, he will be there. We have Clayton White to worry about here, but he looks like he's going to hug the high side for these leaders, not be too much of an issue. They cross line this time with 9 laps to go. Joseph Kazi, another 2/10 gain, so he has 0.9 left. He's under 1 second of your race leader, Brooks Dirting. So yeah, we're looking for a potential another showdown here between these two guys for the checker flag.
And that's exactly what it looks like it's building up as the 88 of Kazi is working the inside of the 06 of Clayton White. We're actually on board with Clayton White right now just to see the space difference in between those two drivers as Kazi does clear the 06 of Clayton White. Clayton giving him plenty of room. Again, another sportsman move. We have seen that time and time again tonight. These drivers not getting in the way of the lead lap drivers, letting them just kind of have at it. But as you were saying, Jeremy, we are looking to have a repeat of what happened last week at Rockingham, as a lot of these drivers are spaced out. I mean, your first place right now, we're watching on screen, Brooks Dirting. Right there in that white red dog truck is Kazi. And right there is your third place for Bryson Dirty. Now, you're going to have to go further back. Right there is your 4th and 5th place being Crownover and Miz. So Dirting has it spaced out. The next one is that 37 of Swiggett. So, again, it's going to looking like, as long as everything stays green, Jeremy, it is going to come down to the 99 and the 88.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like it's going to be them two unless some of them have an issue. And Bryson will be there gracefully waiting for that to happen. He might be wishing it right now, but yeah, these two guys, 99 and 88. Joseph taking off another 10th, another 10th, another 10th. 0.749 as the scoreboard sits right now with 6 laps to go. So he's still gaining, just not as fast as he was earlier in the run. But he's got 6 laps to make up 7/10, and he's put himself in a great position here. I thought maybe Brooks had been saving up a little bit, but I don't think that's the case because Kazi is a man on the mission as they do cross the line here with 5 laps to go. Scoreboard puts him 0.63 now, so he's gained another 10th. He's got 5 laps to get 6/10. If the math serves me correctly, he's going to be right at his bumper here before the checker flag flies.
Yeah, and you're not the only one doing the math. You can guarantee right now that there's 2 drivers that are doing the exact same math, that being the 99 of Brooks Dirting and the 88 of Joseph Kazi. They're both doing that math, knowing exactly where they're going to be at. But at this point in time, the 88 of Kazi, he's going to have to make a solid push as we're sitting at 4 laps to go, Jeremy. So he's going to have to make that push.
Yep, another 10th gained once again there with now 3 laps to go. So it's going to be really close, Dustin. It's going to be really close. I'm surprised as Kazi's tire is able to hold up at this point in time. Brooks looks like he can't just get fully to the bottom like he likes it. Kazi's been running about half a truck length up from that line this whole time, so it looks about his normal line there. Do cross the line one more time here, 3 to go, and he has gained another 10th, so 0.45 now. As you can see them basically in the same frame from any camera angle that you can cycle through at this point. So it looks like his strong suit's on the exit of turn 4. He's not pushing up as wide. Turn 1 and 2 looks like they're about dead equal there. But turn 3 and 4 seems to be the strong suit for Kazi. It looks like he gains a huge chunk here. We'll see that reflect on the scoreboard here as they get to 2 to go, Dustin.
Yeah, so as they cross the line, 2 laps to go. You are correct. As you were talking, we are on the roof cam right now of the 88, and it does look like he gets through 3 and 4 better. It looks like that they're both fairly even as they go through 1 and 2. So it's going to come down to, at this point in time, the mental mistake. Now, keep in mind, folks, that just because the 88 is tracking down is, again, right there, that 3 and 4 run from that 88 is so tough to beat. He still has to get by the 99 at this point in time. As you see, he's going to the high side on this one. He tried this earlier in the race, Jeremy, and this is exactly what we were talking about as we are working the final lap right now. So it's going to come down to this. These drivers are side by side. nose to nose going down the backstretch, lap down car of the 16, trying to get out of the way there. And the 88 uses the 16 as a pick, takes that lead over, coming through 3 and 4, which is his strong suit. It will not end the same way that it did at Rockingham, as the 88 of Joseph Kazi will take the checkered flag. The 99 of Brooks Durding finishing second, and Bryson Durding crossing the line in third.
That was huge pick. That was a huge pick. That was Brooks' last chance, and it was erased, and it was a smart play by Joseph Kazi. Unfortunately, 16 was unable to get out of the way, but huge move there. And Kazi with a strong... That was like one of the best runs I've ever seen to get back up to the lead on the final lap, makes that push on the high side, which not too many trucks were able actually to make that kind of pass on the high side by themselves like that. That was just really strong run there by Joseph Kazi to take that last lap pass for the race win. That puts the series at the first time where we had a repeat winner in 6 races.
Yeah, that was an excellent race. That's part of racing like that. We have seen a number of real-life drivers use lapped cars as picks. Dale Earnhardt, one of probably the more memorable ones that did use cars as picks as well. But again, the 16 of Raj Manjaputi, as he was going in, he wasn't going to be able to get down on that apron. The speed that he was going, he would have gotten down on the apron and ended up hitting the corner, and he ended up wanting to probably come up the track and taking both drivers out. So he chose the best possible option of not causing an accident, which was just to hold his line down on that low line. And that, again, it worked out in Kazi's favor on that one there, being the first repeat winner this season for the inaugural season here at Fired Up Esports League. Again, his first win came at the season opener at Daytona, and he is now the first repeat winner.
Doing some crazy burnouts right on the front stretch, just blew his motor, so he won't be able to drive that thing to victory lane, but I'm sure he's super stoked with how that run went. So he just cooked the car absolutely on the start finish line there, doing some burnouts. So him in second place too at Brooks Durding, they were just doing them together. They realized how much of an exciting race they did put on for the fans and everybody watching out there this evening. As soon as we get hold of these drivers for a post race interview, we'll definitely grab them. But huge win overall for Kazi. I'm going to run down the finishing order here outside your top 3. At Crownover, who did able to make up into 4th place. Timothy Swiggett, top 5. Jason Miz in 6th. Jeff Converse, 7th. Richard Malagani finishes in 8th. Josh Benoit retains 9th as your last truck on the lead lap. 10th place, Connor Hazel, 1 lap down. 11th place, Tim Henderson. 12th, Clayton White. 13th, Jeremy Coors. 14th, Tyler Bentley. 15th, Holmesy. 16th, Taylor Toller. 17th, Bradley Brandon. 18th, Raj Manjaputi. 19th, John Day. 20th, Danny Chandler. 21st, Shane Posey. 22nd will be Cody Porter. And to round out tonight's field, Tyler Davala in 23rd.
Yeah, so again, excellent racing tonight by all drivers. Again, I don't know if these guys know how good of a race that they actually do put on up here until they actually go back and watch the replay. And I do want to shout out to Anthony Crownover. Does sit here and hit us with a message there in the live chat. Buddy, we know you tried to work your butt off after that penalty there after that restart, and I tell you what, you did a hell of a job. Nobody can dog you for that one there. You went from the back all the way back up to 4th. You held your own. So again, it was an excellent run by all drivers. And again, we always love to see the races come down to this, as those drivers didn't go side by side until at the line on the final lap. Was it that the 88 Akazi was able to get side by side, and it came down to a 1-lap drag race all the way to the end.
Oh, absolutely. As these drivers did come down pit road and whatnot, I do believe we have 3rd place finisher, Mr. Bryson Dirty. Let me see if I can grab him into the channel here so we can have a word. Just give me 1 second to do that.
Now, mind you, we do not get to see Jeremy's smiling face tonight because he was late to the show. Naughty on him. So we don't get to see Jeremy tonight, but we will have that fixed for next week.
Yes, for sure. And we do have Bryson actually here with us. Bryson, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
Strong run out there tonight, man. Held your own for the top 5 for the most part. Did come up in 3rd place. It was the Dirting and Dirting show for a little bit there until Kazi kind of spoiled it. That truck was bad, fast overall, though. How'd you feel like the race went for you personally?
It went pretty good. If my own teammate wouldn't have beat me, it would have gone better.
I mean, that's for sure a little bit of bragging rights there. But, yeah, we typically see you in the top 5, top 10, and tonight you actually had a little bit extra steam in that truck and finished as 3rd, so congratulations on that. Did you think you had anything for Brooks or Joseph there mid-race through as things were starting to cycle through?
No, they're faster. They had a better setup than me.
And you know what? That happens. But I tell you what, I mean, you took a lot away from this one here. Able to stay up there in the top 5, and there for a while, you and Brooks were running 1st and 2nd. So the question is there was a number change from last week to this week. Can you tell us a little bit about the number change?
I don't really know what happened. I think I had to join him in to the server like 5 minutes before the race started, and I think his number got switched with mine.
That's all right, because you know what, it worked out well for you. Maybe that's a number you stick with there, as you were able to get on the podium again, for the first time. Definitely, probably a big change from last week. If memory serves me, you kind of had some ups and downs at Rockingham a little bit there, kind of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So how does it feel to bounce back and finish on the podium tonight here at Charlotte, nonetheless, which is a very historic, very fast and fun track?
Yeah, last week I got wrecked in like the 5th lap, so I didn't really get much of that race. So I'm glad I finished good here.
Absolutely, as is your team. But you know what? You raced a hard race. You were right up there pressuring the leaders. You stayed in the top 5 and right around the top 3 all night. So you drove a hell of a race, and it's well-deserved that you get that podium position in a good points race. Good rebound from last week as well. So you did a fantastic job. But this is your moment. This is your time. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out to out there in radio and TV world, or any sponsors or teammates you'd like to give thanks for?
Thanks for Kazi for the setup and my dad for beating me, I guess.
That's all right. You know what? Dale Jr. probably felt the same way from time to time as well. So just know that there's no love lost on that one there. But I tell you what, learn and take away from that one there. And if you can do that, you're going to be doing just fine. So again, we want to tell you congratulations on an excellent run. Good to see you running up there in the top 3, and look forward to seeing you up there more often, because you ran a damn good, clean, fast race. So again, congratulations from everybody here at Nerditudes and from the Fired Up Esports Racing League.
Thank you.
So again, that is your 3rd place winner, or not winner. Well, it might have felt a win after last week, but that's your 3rd place finisher rather, Bryson Dirting. Now we're going to switch gears, and we are going to talk to Big Daddy Dirting, Mr. Brooks Dirting.
And Brooks is in here. Brooks, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, I bet you have lots of emotions going on right now. You dominated that race. You played strategy perfectly, and then Joseph Kazi came out of nowhere there on that last set of stops, being like 3 seconds back, and surprised everybody with that huge run. So, like, it was congratulations on the huge run and getting 2nd place, but I'm sure you were definitely looking forward to that victory. What do you think the difference was there? Because you kind of kept up with him as far as times go up until that last set of stops, and all of a sudden Joseph had found like a huge different advantage somehow, some way. So what do you think the difference was there that last run?
Oh, he's a pretty good driver there, and that's what I was just talking to him about, was the car just kept getting tighter and tighter as the night went on. I kept making adjustments, but lap traffic was a big player. After when I pitted first like that, came out behind a lot of lap cars that were costing me seconds here and there. So that's exactly what we were just talking about. Neither one of us knew where the lap car was going, and he ended up coming down the track instead of going up the track. So I lifted out of it, and that's when Kazi got outside. It's just how it plays out sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had to press the rewind button like Forza allows you to do so, and could redo that scenario there on the last lap or two to maybe hold off Kazi differently. Did you have a different approach that you would have tried? And if you would have known, the 16 was going to be there, that was kind of an unfortunate thing there. He did Kazi use him as a pick, so to speak, to secure that victory. But if you had like that whole lap or two previous back, would you have maybe run the top side to kind of hold off his line?
Yeah, I would have definitely went to the high side if I'd have known he was going to go to the bottom or come down in front of me, because my truck's pretty good on the high side, being a little snug like that. It would run the top, get passing lap cars. I just didn't realize he was coming back down the track and as soon as he's got his spoiler in front of me, my car just took off to the wall.
Yeah, I tell you what though, I mean the race going down, I mean it built for some amazing drama. I'm pretty sure you were aware, and so was Kazi, that you guys were setting it up almost near identical to what took place at Rockingham last week. The only difference was the results were flip-flop from last week. So we didn't know what was going to go on, but as time was coming down, we knew that we were looking to have our first repeat winner for the season. But with that being said, how did it feel to be up there racing with your boy? At there, because I tell you what, that was a huge rebound from last week and the accident he was involved in last week, to come back and have such a strong showing here, and kind of looking like maybe trying to take some notes and some tips from Pops running up in front of him.
Yeah, I'm real proud of him. He's had a frustrating week in the C Open this week at Charlotte, so I was real happy for him to bounce back and get him a top 3 finish. He's been working hard, but getting frustrated with some stuff with being taken out of races and stuff. So I was just that he barely missed the first caution, and I was happy that he got through that and he kind of settled in and drove his way through. So I was super proud of how far he's come.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, it's a good feeling nonetheless. With that being said, what do we have in store? I mean, what do you have in store for us? I mean, you have had the last number of weeks, you have been running on a rail. You've been running really good, really clean. The last 2 weeks, I mean, look at your last 2 finishes, first place and second place runner up. I mean, you have been on a rail. Is this something that we can expect to see as you obviously are trying to make a bid for that Sticker Cabana Truck Series season championship?
Yeah, these are my first 2 weeks in here. I coached a lot of soccer, so it's hard for me to get here in time for the race. So I rush in and get in here as fast. Today was the first time I've had a chance to actually make some laps before the race started. But yeah, I would think and hope that I could run up front with these guys consistently. Kazi and Greg. Craig didn't make it today. And Bryson and all Miz and all them guys, they're pretty fast, and I appreciate them running, and we run clean together, so it's always fun to get to run with them.
And it is, and it was unfortunate that the 3 of Greg Holt was not able to make it. But again, there's plenty of races to go. Real life happens. But you know what? On that note, you ran a hell of a race. You ran a long race. Got that runner-up position. You've been on a rail so far the last couple weeks. Carry that momentum on into next week and see where we can't find ourselves then. But this is your time. This is your moment. Is there anybody you'd like to say thanks to? Any sponsors or teammates you'd like to shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for hosting this or broadcasting it, and then Fuel for hosting the races. We couldn't do it without you guys out here. Big hats off to my team, Frontline and Abruzzi that sponsors me, and then also working really close with Performance Sim Sports. But before I went to Frontline, they were my boys, and we're still really good friends and appreciate all the help. They're the one who gave me the setup last week, and I couldn't have done without them last week. I didn't get to get in here and talk to you guys, so last week was a big part to them giving me the setup to come out and run.
And I tell you what, you say that you couldn't do it without us. I say contrary. We wouldn't be able to do it without you guys out there doing what you love to do and making it look so damn easy and so damn pretty, because you guys did an excellent job. But either way, congratulations again, Brooks. It was good to finally get to talk to you, as again, we did miss your victory interview last week due to some technical communication errors there that were out of anybody's control. But again, you made up for it. You were able to get into it this way. So again, congratulations on your runner-up and your win for last week, as we are able to tell you that in person and live.
I appreciate it, and congratulations to Kazi and Bryson for their win and podium finish.
All right, that is Brooks Dirting. That is your runner-up tonight for the CGE Memorial presented by Martin Sports. Again, we didn't get a chance to interview him last week due to some technical difficulties. We obviously got that squared away. We also obviously got the frame rate drop squared away as well. So glad to be back in full action. And couldn't do it any better, Jeremy, because we need to interview our first repeat winner of the Fired Up Esports League inaugural season for the Sticker Cabana Truck Series.
Joseph Kazi, we got him in here. Do you have a copy, man?
Yes, I do.
Man, that was that last run you had there, being like 3 seconds back to taking over the victor on the very last lap. Like, where did that come from? I know you had that long run truck, but I ain't seen nothing like that in a long time. Where did that come from, man?
Man, I don't know. Like, if you would have looked back and seen how horrible and atrocious my pit stop entry was, you would have never thought I would ever come back up the front to the first spot right there. That was amazing. That was just me putting my head down and just going at it.
We definitely called that action when he did enter the pit road a little hot there. Got almost fully sideways. Glad that you didn't, because that would have been the game changer for you. I almost thought personally it was over at that point, because I think at one point you're 8 seconds back, and that it never count anybody out, especially this series. So yeah, that just it blew me away basically. Did you make any changes on that setup when you were in pit road there, that last green flag stop, to maybe do something different to make up all that ground that you lost?
I just tried to make it a little bit looser, just for hopefully for the long run, which I think it kind of succeeded on what I wanted, and it also helped the very short of the run, because I know I was I was going as hard as I could. those first couple laps on them tires, I was just going as fast as I could, just putting qualifying laps down pretty much.
Oh, and that's exactly what you needed to do. That's not typically something that we see from you, as you've been racing here now for 6 weeks from Daytona. We don't typically see a mistake like that going into pit road. So Jeremy and I were wondering exactly how well you were going to be able to bounce back from that. And there's no way you could have bounced back any better that by any means. But with that being said, how does it feel to be the first repeat winner in the Sticker Cabana Truck Series? Again, mind you, your first win, which you probably remember as well as anybody else, was the season opener at Daytona.
Yeah, it feels good. It was nice to be able to turn my luck around. I freaking had what was it, Rockingham? I messed up somewhere. I got to the front and then messed up. I don't know. I remember exactly how that went, but other than that, yeah, it's great to finally get a repeat or get a second one here. So I'm pretty glad that it worked out the way it did, because I had put laps on this track yesterday, and because we had raced, I raced in another league that had the same track. Go figure. And it's open setup. So, and I was winning that race, and I lost it with 10 laps to go and slapping the wall coming out of 4.
Well, you definitely turned your luck around from that league to this one here, taking some notes away that helped you out. Now, tell us, coming to that last lap, so for about the last 7 to 8 laps, you had been really pulling them in, a 10th here, a 10th there, 10th here, 10th there. But you didn't actually get side by side with Dirting until you both were literally crossing the start-finish line for the white flag, taking the white flag. Tell us what was going through your mind as you guys were side by side down the front stretch through turn 1 and 2, and then seeing that lap car coming up as you guys were heading down that backstretch, getting ready to go into 3.
Yeah, freaking, yeah, I think Brooks should have took the high side and let me should have the bottom, to be honest. I just knew I had to stay beside him when we got to the, front stretch. I knew I had to be beside him, and stay beside him going through the turn, or else, I wasn't gonna get it, or I wasn't gonna have a chance. So when I got to the high side and that lap car was coming, that was Brooks' Achilles heel. I think the lap car should have probably got out the way more. We could have raced it out a little bit, better to the end, on the last two turns, but, it is what it is. And freaking, I was able to come out on top of it.
Yeah, and it's an unfortunate part of racing. In the heat of the moment, it's as well as anybody, you only got split seconds to make the decision, and the thought process can sometimes be just as painful. Going in, lap car may not have felt like he was going to be able to keep it down on that apron going in as fast as what he was and not come up and wreck you both out. So again, it's part of it, but we've seen real life race car drivers suffer the same fate that Brooks did, having a lap car being used as a pick as well. It's just part of racing. But either way, you drove a hell of a race. You came back from a pit road entry mistake. I was able to bounce back. You drove the wheels off of that car. And then for the post race, you just burnt them completely to hell off, including grenading your engine. So I tell you what, it was an excellent race. You deserve that win, and this is your time, Joe. Anybody you'd like to give thanks to? Anybody you'd like to shout out to? Any teammates or sponsors?
Yeah, thank freaking Brooks, man. Freaking, he's my teammate. Bryson, Jeff, freaking Miz. They're all in here. I know Schroeder ain't here tonight, and Greg, he ain't in here, but all of them, they're all my teammates. We try to do best, try to help each other out as much as we can. And, trophy chasing.
Hey, that's what it takes. I tell you what, you guys had an excellent showing. Obviously, the team swept the podium there between you and the father-son tandem duo of Brooks and Bryson Dirting. Miz was back there in 6th. Converse was in 7th. So again, you guys did a heck of a job. It was definitely a good showing here for you guys. But at this point in time, man, we're going to let you go and celebrate, let you go and talk and hang out with the teammates. You did a hell of a job. It was a hell of a show. And congratulations from everybody here at Nerditudes and Nerd TV, and as well from the Fired Up Esports Racing League.
Thanks again, guys. Thank you. Great. I want to watch this. I'm going to go back and watch this one.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. So again, that is your race winner for the CGE Memorial 125 presented by Martin Sports. Mr. Joseph Kazi, our first repeat winner here at the Fired Up Esports League. Jeremy, I tell you what, and I don't know why I keep looking over at my monitor like I'm going to try to look at your face because all this there. Don't get me wrong. We have beautiful Martin Sports logos there where your face should be. And they look beautiful too. So it's actually probably an upgrade from normal, but I still keep looking over at the monitor expecting to try to talk to you. But overall, it was a solid race. Again, after we got past that, the first couple cautions, again, the drivers really trying to get into their own, trying to figure things out, get some heat in those tires. Baby, it ran. It ran long and solid and fast. So it definitely straightened out and turned into a hell of a run and a hell of a race and a finish at the end.
Yeah, I think those Martin Sports logos might look better than me in there anyway. So, but that to the side, that was that last set of green flag run there. That was impressive to watch Mr. Kazi run down Brooks like that, because Brooks had dominated that whole night. I don't think he led every lap up until the very last one. So, pretty good racing overall. Strategy didn't play out as well or as much of a variety as I expected, like all the other races in the past. But I think they kind of learned from that, and they all kind of bundled up in their kind of similar strategy, so to speak. The one person did try to jump on that was Coors, and he unfortunately got involved, and it took out his potential chance for the win tonight. But just overall, great run. Each and every week, these guys are showing what they're worth, and it's a blast to watch.
It really is. So, again, it gets better and better each week. The racing action gets better and better each week. And obviously, it helps us out because the more that we can call, and the more that they do what they do best down there makes our job even easier. So with that said, We're going to go through and give a shout out to our sponsors one final time. Again, giving them thanks for their support for not only Nerditudes and Nerd TV, but the Fired Up Esports Racing League as a whole. Again, from us to you guys, we want to give thanks for everything that you guys do. Martin Sports, again, the title sponsor for tonight's racing event, which was the CGE Memorial 125 presented by Martin Sports. The winner tonight, Joseph Kazi, does get himself a sexy, sweet set of racing gloves from Martin Sports tonight. So again, that is an excellent thing. That's the prize that Martin Sports put out there. And I'm telling you, these things are sick. They're sexy looking. They look good. They're comfortable. And there's so many drivers out there that swear by these gloves. Even drivers that do not even like wearing gloves, but they said when they put a set of these on, it's like satin. It's perfect. I mean, they feel like they're in more control. If they're anything like me, they take that sweaty palmness out of the equation. I get that from time to time as well. Yes, the nerds do race from time to time, believe it or not, and we probably should race a little bit more because we're getting a little rusty as it sits. But again, excellent quality products. They don't just do gloves, they do apparel as well, hoodies, esports jerseys, you name it, they do it. High quality products. The ownership there, again, is probably some of the best that I have had the privilege of working with side by side. Excellent people, excellent individuals. Again, American owned. It's a great operation. Again, they sink a lot into R&D to make sure they're bringing you guys the best product possible. So again, check out what they have to offer. That's martinsportsapparel.com. Want to give a shout out to Sticker Cabana. Again, that is the title sponsor for tonight's truck series, and they have got to be happy as can be at the quality of racing that has been coming out of this series each and every week. These drivers have been putting on a hell of a show because they're going for that one thing and one thing only, that Sticker Cabana Truck Series Championship. So again, Sticker Cabana, that title sponsor, they make high quality die cut stickers. Go give them a look on Facebook and on the interwebs there. See what they have to offer. Again, a lot of really good stickers, a lot of really good products on there. A lot of the stickers have made me laugh. I love the comic stickers and everything else that they do there. So again, very good quality product. Go take a look. That's Sticker Cabana. I want to give a shout out to Nature Med as well. Again, this is probably one that I can really get behind personally. I do have a lot of veterans and everything else that are in my family, and I do know I can't sympathize on it as I don't suffer from certain ailments like anxiety or PTSD, but I can empathize on that because I've seen my family members go through the same thing. And again, for every veteran out there, I do know that Crownover stated he was a vet. I do know that John Day is a vet. I do know that Holmesy is a vet as well. Thank you guys so much for everything that you have done to allow us to be here tonight, bringing this race to you guys. We, again, are greatly appreciative of everything you've done. And with that said, we completely stand behind Nature Med and what they offer as well. Again, that educate and medicate. For as much as what veterans have done for this country, they deserve a little bit of peace, and that's exactly what it is. And it's not just veterans; it's anybody, family members that suffer from anxiety, extreme OCD, or even physical pain as well. Nothing better than a natural remedy. Nothing more natural than medicinal cannabis, medicinal marijuana. So again, thank you guys for what you do and the services you offer. It's fantastic stuff. And again, thank you guys again for all the services that you have done for this country. Again, that is Nature Med. And finally, we want to thank Butt Kicker. Again, excellent audio systems, perfect addition to any racing rig you have. It doesn't matter how much or how little you've spent on your rig. Doesn't matter if it's a professional built rig or if it's a rig that has been thrown together by you and your kids, kind of like the rig that I have. It doesn't matter. It's going to add any type of quality to whatever rig you have. Again, low frequency reverberation sound system really allows you to feel some of those sounds and sights that you did not get a chance to feel before. Check them out. That's thebuttkicker.com/?AFF equals 33. Be sure you use the promo code as you see on the screen, Fired Up. You will get 20% off your entire order through thebuttkicker.com. Now, Jeremy, it has come to that time where we have got to say goodbye. We've had an excellent night of racing. We have seen some amazing driving. We've seen an amazing finish. But we have got to part ways so that we can get ready to bring you guys an excellent race again. Do want to give a shout out to everybody that has been talking. Thank you so much. Crown Over as well for saying awesome broadcast, guys. You guys rock. We love to hear that. That means we're doing exactly what we were meant to do, being right here, making sure the broadcast is good. So again, for everybody out there that has shouted out, that's Melissa Benoit, that's Hager, that's Crown Over. Jeff Converse, thank you so much again for saying good broadcast, excellent bounce back, and good race. So again, that goes to show you that even the drivers like to go back and review to take notes again for later on. So on behalf of myself and Nerditudes, Nerd TV, and the Fired Up Esports Racing League, again, we would like to thank you, as well as so would the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley. We'd like to thank you for being here, for watching, for joining us along the way. Be sure you hit that subscribe button, that follow button. Hell, hit whatever button you want. As long as it makes sure that you guys come back here and you let us know what's working and what you like, we'll be sure to keep bringing you some damn good shows as long as these drivers keep putting on some damn good races. And they will, trust me. So, again, thank you guys for everything you do. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you at the next track.